We got the 9 seed Utah State taking on the 8 seed Villanova. This is a 1.5 point spread with Utah State being the favorite. This is the reason why it's an 8-9 matchup, because you truly have two teams that are pretty similar, two teams really close to each other. And this is why these are so difficult to really pick, because you have a Utah State team that offensively, their 2-point shooting and field goal efficiency is probably the best part of what they do. Defensively, they're pretty solid overall. They do force turnovers. They are a team that does have a guy in Colby King that can shoot the ball. He's really the main shooter that, if I'm Villanova, I'm most concerned about. But they also do have playmakers in MJ Collins and Mason Falslev. Sorry if I completely botched your name. Those are two of the main point per getters for this Utah State team. This is a Utah State team going up against a pretty slow tempo Villanova team. This is a Villanova team that is really good at protecting the ball. If you looked at what Utah State did, and what I mentioned is that defensively, Utah State is pretty good at forcing turnovers. If Villanova can protect the ball, this is going to be a different type of game. Now, defensively, I think both of these teams are pretty similar, right? They're really good at protecting the ball. They're really good at forcing turnovers. Defense for Villanova, though, is much better, though, than what they are offensively. This is an offense that truly has been struggling recently. This is a Utah State team that is better offensively. They have more weapons than this Villanova team, but this Villanova team does have 5 guys that average in double digits. 4 of them are guards, though. This is going to be a really, really reliant guard game for Villanova. Utah State obviously has Mason as a forward in this one. I really don't know what Villanova is going to get on the inside, very much inside the paint. I think it's really kind of, again, going to marches. It's a team. It's a sport. It's really a time that is truly won through guard play. And I think because of that, Villanova, just kind of the balance that they have, I think is going to be one of those reasons why they can possibly win this game. And they have multiple guys that can score from the outside, even though offensively they haven't been as good. Defensively, they're still solid. But this is also a Utah State team that is a favorite for a reason. And I think it's because you trust this offense, you trust MJ College, you trust Mason, you trust Colby King much more than you would trust this Villanova offense, because this Villanova offense has been bad recently. This is a Villanova team that's not playing very well. This is a Utah State team that obviously has a little bit of experience as well, so that's something that really kind of plays into this. But these are just two teams that are really, really, really close with each other. I think they're really two teams that are pretty comparable. It's just not a ton else to really talk about. It's going to be about who's going to make shots. I think you trust Utah State more offensively. I think Villanova defensively hasn't been either that great either. So I think just overall, that's why Utah State is the better team, because I think they're more well-rounded. I think offensively, they're going to be able to put the ball in the basket a little bit more. And if Villanova wants to win this game, they're going to really have to keep it slow. And this is a Utah State team that doesn't necessarily push it either. So it's not like this tempo is going to be that different than what they're used to. Maybe Utah State can push it a little bit more, maybe make Villanova a little bit more uncomfortable. But I think at the end of the day, you just trust this Utah State team a little bit more than Villanova. I think you're going to see that. And I think you're going to see that with a lot of people's selections, and that's why they're 1.5 point favorite. But yeah, this is a really difficult game. This is a really difficult game with both teams that have guards that can play, but it's going to mainly, in my opinion, be about who can score down low, who can kind of get a little bit more from the forward play. I think you trust Mason Falslev a little bit more than anything that Villanova has. But do I think both of these teams are that great? No, not necessarily, but they're good, solid teams that they're going to put a good fight up against each other. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a really close game. So let me know your thoughts. Who do you have winning this game? Should be a close game, should be a competitive game. I end up thinking Utah State ends up winning this game. But yeah, if this is something you like, I'll obviously be doing more March Madness content. Other games will definitely be a little bit easier, as there's a little bit more of a separation between these teams, a little bit more of differences, because I truly think at the end of the day, Utah State is better offensively, Villanova is better defensively. and it's about who can force turnovers, who can protect the ball. And I think Utah State, especially offensively, will make more shots than what Villanova will, and I think that's going to be the biggest part. So let me know your thoughts. Who do you think wins? If this is something you like, feel free to like, subscribe, comment as well. Thanks for tuning in, and tune in to the next episode.